Croatian Minister of Defense, Ivan Anušić, paid an official visit to Paris and met with French Minister of Armed Forces, Sébastien Lecornu. The meeting discussed the growing defense cooperation between the two countries, especially in terms of defense equipment procurement. Croatia is currently in the process of purchasing 30 Caesar 155mm self-propelled howitzers, taking delivery of the Mistral 3 short-range air defense system, as well as upgrading its fleet of Rafale fighter jets. The move is part of the European Union's ReArm Europe strategy, which encourages joint procurement to strengthen regional defense. The partnership stems from the acquisition of 12 second-hand Rafale fighter jets and was further strengthened with the signing of a framework agreement on June 17, 2024, during the Eurosatory exhibition in Paris. Through this agreement, France will assist Croatia in the procurement of Caesar howitzers, with a final contract planned for 2025. This decision also marks a change of direction from previous plans to add Panzerhaubitze 2,000 units and confirms Croatia's commitment to European cooperation-based procurement. The French-made Caesar 155mm/52 howitzer is Croatia's mainstay in artillery modernization. With the ability to fire up to 6 rounds per minute and a maximum range of 50 kilometers using rocket-assisted ammunition, the system is designed for high mobility and shoot-and-run strategies. Weighing less than 18 tons, it allows transportation by air using C-130 or A-400M aircraft. It is already in use by various countries, including Denmark, Estonia, and Ukraine, and has been involved in various global military operations. Croatia aims to have up to 60 Caesar units to equip its 3 artillery battalions. The selection of the system was also based on logistical efficiency and co-financing opportunities through the EU's EDIRPA program. In addition to artillery, Croatia is also strengthening its air defense system. The country will receive the Mistral 3 short-range air defense system by the end of 2025 and is considering VL Mika-NG as a medium-range air defense solution compatible with Rafale. For long-range systems, Croatia is evaluating the Aster SAMP TNG from France as well as the Patriot system from the United States, although no final decision has been made. The talks with France also include potential funding through the EU's SAFE instrument, which can provide up to 150 billion euros for defense procurement. Croatia's defense modernization efforts are not limited to cooperation with France. The country has secured 8 HIMARS systems from the US, worth $287 million, and became the 4th EU country to receive approval for the system. In addition, Croatia is in the process of acquiring 50 Leopard 2A8 tanks from Germany, replacing the M84A4 tanks that will partly be sent to Ukraine. A number of combat vehicles such as Bradley M2A20DS and Black Hawk helicopters have also started arriving. Meanwhile, 6 Bayraktar TB2 combat drones have been ordered under a €67 million contract. Croatia even entered into a partnership with Rheinmetall to develop unmanned ground systems UGS, in line with its vision of building domestic drone production capacity. With these measures, Croatia aims to replace its Soviet-era artillery and air defense systems by the early 2030s, strengthen its defense posture, and further align itself with NATO standards. This modernization reflects Croatia's changing defense policy that increasingly prioritizes interoperability with NATO and EU countries. This move not only aims to increase the combat power of the Croatian military, but also strengthen cooperation with key allies such as France, Germany, and the United States. In addition to artillery and air defense, Croatia is also exploring strengthening its air and maritime combat capabilities. The purchase of Rafale fighter jets not only enhances the capabilities of the Croatian Air Force, but also opens up opportunities for technology and training cooperation with France. Meanwhile, in the maritime sector, Croatia is considering options to modernize its naval fleet to improve water security in the Balkans and Mediterranean region. With this series of acquisitions, Croatia has further strengthened its position as an emerging military power in the Southeast European region. The commitment to replace Soviet-era equipment with cutting-edge technology marks a step forward in aligning the country's defense forces with NATO standards and global trends in modern defense strategy. As a member of NATO and the European Union, Croatia is increasingly playing an important role in the security stability of the Balkan region and Southeast Europe. Large investments in military modernization not only aim to improve national defense, but also strengthen Croatia's contribution to multinational operations as well as strategic alliances under NATO and the EU. Croatia's involvement in European joint procurement programs, such as the ReArm Europe initiative, demonstrates the country's seriousness in strengthening interoperability with its allies. By choosing systems such as Caesar, VL Mica NG, and Aster SAMP TNG, Croatia is increasingly adopting defense standards compatible with its European partners. Moreover, in the context of regional security, Croatia is also actively supporting Ukraine with various military assistance, including the delivery of weapons and combat vehicles from old stocks. This move not only strengthens Croatia's ties with Western allies, but also reflects its position as a country committed to regional stability and collective defense policy. In the long term, Croatia not only wants to be a buyer of defense equipment, but also wants to develop its domestic defense industry. The partnership with Rheinmetall in the development of unmanned ground systems, UGS, marks the first step towards domestic defense technology innovation. The government is also exploring the possibility of domestic production of ammunition and military components to reduce dependence on imports. This move is in line with the efforts of many other NATO countries that have begun to develop local defense industries to ensure strategic independence. In the drone and unmanned aerial systems sector, Croatia is also developing production infrastructure to expand its long-range reconnaissance and strike capabilities. Following the purchase of the Bayraktar TB2, the country began exploring the option of developing locally made drones as part of long-term modernization.